Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. That
Hey
was
everybody.
Great. A little behind the scenes footage. You tired this morning, buddy?
I am very sleepy. I was just complaining about how I hate feeling old and tired and achy and just disgusting.
Yeah.
But hey, we're here, man.
Yeah, we stayed up, watched the Super Bowl. We were just chatting about how great of a game it was.
Yeah.
If you're in Atlanta today, not so great, but one of the best Super Bowls I've ever watched personally.
So, do you think that it feels better to be a New England Patriot or worse to be an Atlanta Falcon this morning?
It feels great to be on the outside looking in. I'll start there. Our Steelers lost, of course, to the Patriots. That didn't feel too good. I would say worse to be an Atlanta Falcon fan, but they have to be proud of where their team made it and how they played at least the first half. So welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show, and we appreciate everybody joining us through the GoToWebinar viewer and also here on Facebook Live. And we have a new addition to our studio here that you can't see behind the camera, but we have a monitor here. So as you type in questions to Facebook Live, we'll be able to see those live on air and respond throughout the episode. And first, we want to share our look of the week that we do every week. And the winner this week is
Brandy Flemmer.
From Pinckney, Michigan, So Successful, Inc. And this was submitted on the Stahls Show and Tell right on our Facebook page. And what you're looking at here is a combination of a basic heat transfer film, most likely fashion film, with 2 colors of glitter flake, 2 separate looks. And number one, when we look at the print on the left side, in and of itself is phenomenal in combining those 3 colors in the different ways that she has there. Also doing the nice garment gap technique with the athletic tail going through, so the film doesn't layer directly on top of the glitter. So from a technique standpoint, flawless.
Yeah.
And you take that over to the design on the right side with a knockout print, and that is just awesome.
Now, how many of these do you think, like recommended job size, how many of these are you going to want to print?
I guess it depends on what you sell it for, would be the real question. When you look at that from a time standpoint, you're probably going to tack down that white layer first and sort of set your frame for the whole print. And we'll do a multicolor application here in our Make It Monday section. But you're going to tack that down for a couple seconds, tack your second color of glitter down for a couple seconds, and then finish with your final color of glitter for the full application. So you probably have about, I would say, 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in placement and alignment with each garment. So to answer your question, I feel comfortable doing any quantity in this because it's going to be very tough to screen print something like this.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you said Brandy was our winner this week. What does she win?
Yeah, she wins a surprise box from the Stahls TV studio. So actually, Karen prepares that, and we'll mail it out to Brandy as the winner. We'll reach out to her on Facebook.
Great.
So if you too want to win a surprise box, here's how you submit for Look of the Week. You can email them to tv@stahls.com. This is the image of your look along with your business information. You can share them on Stahls Show and Tell, which is Saturdays on our Facebook page, Stahls All Things Heat Printing, or you can tag us on Instagram at Stahls TV. So a few different ways to enter, and we appreciate all the entries every week. And for more exciting looks, and I'm really excited about this, you get to see our look of the month, so to speak, with a new product, our first product from Stahls TV that we launched, called the Project Presset subscription box.
Yeah, and we're going to show you a commercial here kind of explaining what it is, but basically we get to have a lot of fun with this particular product that Stahls TV is now selling, and it shows up to your door on a monthly basis, and it's going to give you a lot of the tools that you need, not only to make the look, but to sell the look. So an exciting product for us, hopefully helps to grow your business, which is what the rest of our show is about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's roll this commercial. It's about a couple minutes that will explain the box and give you a sneak peek of what's inside. I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stahls TV. Since 2015, Stahls TV has been the industry's authority on heat printing education. At Stahls TV, our goal is simple. It's to help you, an apparel decorator, to grow your business. We do this by inspiring you to try new apparel decoration projects and teaching you exactly how to execute on them. Since we've launched our website over at stahlstv.com, millions of viewers have tuned in to watch our monthly live streaming classes and our on-demand video education. Did you know that this year we are recognized as the industry's top website or blog that delivers educational content? We're proud of that distinction, and we're excited to announce that now we're taking that award-winning content beyond the web to your doorstep. Introducing the Project Presset monthly subscription box. Simply put, the Project Presset subscription box is a box to get you out of yours, and all you need is just a heat press. Let's look at the specifics of the subscription so you can understand the value that it's going to deliver to your business. First, it all starts with a project to press. For this, we've collaborated with Sanmar University to include a seasonal and on-trend garment targeted to an industry vertical that you can begin reaching with custom apparel decoration. Next, our Stahls TV design team creates a decoration concept specific to that garment and industry that's designed to help you learn a heat printing technique and to gain sales. By following the instruction card in the box and using the included heat transfer components, you'll be able to press your project in a few minutes or less. With the sales sample in hand, dive deeper into online resources included with each month's box that will help you to turn that month's idea into an action plan. Access an exclusive subscriber-only sales and marketing guide. This guide will walk you through the market represented and point out apparel and design trends that will help you to grow sales. Additionally, you can leverage high-res photography, high-quality video content, and optimize images for social media marketing that will help you execute on the concepts presented in the guide. After talking with thousands of apparel decorators, we realized that you don't always have the time to create new designs and to source new garments. We also understand that creating sales samples is a time-consuming, expensive process. It's a major challenge for apparel decorators. This is exactly the reason why we created the Project Presset subscription box. Honestly, it's more than just a box of stuff. It's a tangible box of monthly motivation to help you try new concepts and reach new customers. Make more money for your apparel business in 2017. Subscribe to Project Presset by visiting the link below.
So there's a few ways that you can subscribe to the Project Presset box. If you visit stahlstv.com/subscribe, that's one way. If you just want to visit stahlstv.com and wait for the banners on the front page to scroll, it's about the third banner in, you can click that and subscribe, or you can go to our resources tab, go to Project Presset and subscribe there as well. But this box is going to show up to your door once a month, right, with a brand new project in it, and the projects are really curated through Stahls, through Sanmar, and they're designed to help you sell more product.
Yeah, $24.99 a month for the monthly subscription is the intro offer we have running right now on it. And then if you subscribe for the whole year up front, I think it drops the per box price down to $19.99 per month, so pretty good value as well.
Now, we've had some folks already sign up for this. Are most of them going with the month-to-month or with the annual subscription?
Believe it or not, it's split. I looked at it just before the morning show, and I think we have one more subscriber monthly than annually right now, so it's a split decision so far. So a new segment of the morning show, just to keep moving through our episode because there's a lot more to cover, is Make It Monday. And in this segment, we will actually go over to the heat press and show you how to create a project. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm standing here with our Hotronix Fusion heat press, which is our heat press of choice here on the morning show for a couple different reasons. Number one is because it has quick change interchangeable bases, which is going to allow you to print more items than any other heat press out on the market. Secondly, when you combine those quick change bases with something called threadability, meaning I can split my items and load them over the bottom attachment, it's going to make life so much easier for printing more items, not only more styles of items, but more items per hour with quick and easy loading, no pillows or pads. The real technique I want to show you in today's Make It Monday, I'm going to split this bag open and load it onto my heat press. That gets rid of any obstructions that are going to cause an issue with print area. And then I will start just by placing a heat transfer film design down. In this case, I'm going to show you a multicolor application utilizing fashion film with flock as a foreground. And so if you remember that look, or look of the week that Brandy did, one of the techniques that we're going to utilize here is called a 2-second tack. Basically, I'm going to tack all my background layers just to speed up the process, help prevent them from shrinking, and it'll allow me to go to the next application, the foreground, very quickly. Also, another tip on Make It Monday, when you're printing bags, you always want to position that design just a little higher than center of the bag, because when you load the bag with product, or your customer does, you don't want that design to be hidden or sink to the bottom of the bag. So I'm going to position that into place, cover it, and I'm going to go ahead and tack the background down just for a couple seconds to get it to temporarily adhere. With fashion film, it'll allow me to hot peel that backing away. And then I'm going to take my foreground, and in this case I want to show you how we can bring some dimension to this bag by utilizing CAD cut flock. And so flock does not have a sticky backing, so when you lay it here, ideally you would have thermal tape. I didn't plan for that. Just give me 1 second and I'll grab some. Just happen to have that situated in the studio real close by. And so thermal tape is actually blue tape that you can get a dispenser for. When you have a product that doesn't have a sticky backing, or you have a curved surface like a hat, it's helpful to be able to tape that into place. So I'll just pull off a piece here. I'm going to just hold my design down. I'll tape the top edge, and then I'll just grab another small piece and tape the bottom edge. It is a heat resistant tape that'll help to hold everything into place. Covering it back with my cover sheet, and then I'll complete the full flock application. So there's a variety of different heat transfer material types, heat transfer vinyls that are available out there in the market. Each material should come with its recommended application for the specific adhesive that's designed on that product. In this case, flock takes about 10 to 15 seconds, and it is a cold peel. So I'm going to let that cool down before I start to remove the backing on the flock. Now, while that's cooling down, we figured we'd show you how to print something else. And in this case, I want to print the strap on the bag. Heat printing, with its versatility, allows you to really print a lot of unique placements on different items. So in this case, I'm using my 8x10 platen. I'm just going to print one strap as a demonstration. This particular design out of fashion film says "Just Married." I'm going to position that down because the monogram that's been completed is one that are initials for a married couple. And this is a heat sensitive leather on this strap. So I'm going to pull out a special cover sheet that's used for items that won't be laundered, that are heat sensitive. You don't want to use this for any items that are going to be laundered. It's called a flexible application pad. I'm going to cover that gently with my flexible application pad, and then I'm going to heat apply it now, in this case for 25 seconds. And the reason I did the additional time, usually fashion film only takes 10 to 15 seconds to apply, but I'm adding another 10 seconds of application time to this to get through the pad, to get to the fashion film's melting point while still protecting the leather strap. So quite a few different applications here. Looks like I'm down to about 3 seconds on my heat press. Open that, swing it away. Remove the flexible application pad. Then I'll remove the carrier from the fashion film. This is the same application that we're using. I know it's tough to see here, so let me try to tilt it up so you can see it on the camera. This is the same application we use on fashion film when we're applying to something like footwear as well, or a faux leather purse. So there are a ton of options, and heat printing you can print anywhere. Let's bring the bag up onto the surface. Remove the backing from my flock material. Notice how the tape peels off as I'm removing that backing. And now I have, it's tough to see on camera once again, but you have some real nice dimension, a fuzzy feel on this finished bag. So in this Make It Monday, we showed you some best techniques and tips for layering, also how to heat apply sensitive items, and stress the importance of threadability and optional platens on your heat press. Now we'll head back to the normal show.
I was hoping we'd head back to the abnormal show.
It was a little bit of an abnormal show at the start, but I think we're back on track here, at least I hope so.
So one of the things that, actually the core topic that we want to talk about today is scaling or expanding your business, and ways to do that, things to consider before you do that, or things to consider of how you do that. So one of the best ways to expand your business, especially when it comes to decorating, and one of the easiest ways that requires very little upfront money, because most of us don't want to spend a lot of money up front, but we want to grow sales.
Right.
One of the ways that we do that is through building partnerships or outsourcing decoration methods. So tell us a little bit about what to look for, or when is it time to start thinking about outsourcing?
Yeah, I guess, and we experience this when we visit shops all the time, is that they're sort of at capacity if they're doing a nice job selling, and it becomes time to make a decision. Am I going to hire somebody? Am I going to offload some of this work? What am I going to do? And so if you find that your business is sort of busting at the seams and you feel like you could get more jobs through the door, then I think it's time to either invest in people and equipment, or it's in time to start researching outsourcing. And so one of the best examples of outsourcing I can say is if you decide I want to start offering embroidery, or I'm getting a lot of high quantity orders, I really need to start doing direct screen printing. When you look at a completely new capability and equipment investment, sometimes that's the time to start looking to outsource on that specific capability.
One of the best ways, a lot of the questions that we get, especially when we're working at a trade show and somebody says, hey, I hear you, I want to outsource, but how do I find somebody that I can trust? Because trust is a big thing. One, do you trust your competitor down the street not to take your customer? Yeah. Do you trust the quality of somebody that you haven't been into their shop and know how they produce? So what are some ways that we can build trust or vet out an outsourcing partner?
Yeah, I mean, I would look at it almost the same way you approach a new employee, where you go through a process. You look at their resume or their body of work and their reputation online or from other customers they've dealt with. Then you go through an interview process where you are meeting with the person that you're going to outsource to, whether that's through a conference call or in person or some other way through email communication, asking the questions that are important to you relative to turn time and quality and all those things. And then really running a few test jobs, so getting a sample of their work relative to what you're going to outsource. That's going to ensure that it's going to be the quality that you want to put your brand name on. Now, as far as the risk with stealing customers, I mean, that's the risk with going down the street, right? You'd have to have sort of some sort of contract, ideally, that would guard against that, or look for somebody that's outside of your local area to outsource to. There's certainly a lot of contract printers that make a whole business out of producing work for decorators that don't have capacity.
Yeah, exactly right. One of the issues that I think a lot of small business owners struggle with is, yes, maybe outsourcing is a good option, but they really can't let go of control of a particular production process. A lot of people, when you interview them, started their business because they wanted control over something, and beginning to outsource that production process is just an issue that you might have even emotionally. Like, I don't feel comfortable giving up control of this. So how do you justify making an investment to bring the equipment in-house, and what are some of the considerations that we have to walk through to do that?
Yeah, and you know who you are. I've talked to you at the trade show where we start to say, well, maybe you shouldn't buy that printer yet. You should outsource first and build up a client base before you invest in the printer. And you know the decorator immediately when they say, nope, we buy everything, we like to have control, perhaps because you've been burned in the past, which is a valid thing. So for the person that wants to grow within their own footprint, to have capability, and to be able to put their hands on it, I'd say the first step, well, first off, the easiest thing to do is to grow in your existing technology. So if you're heat printing today, to add more and look for more jobs specifically with heat printing, or if you're embroidering today, to add more with embroidery. So if you still have room to grow with an existing technology set, it's a lot easier to add more equipment that's like the other equipment you have, from a workflow perspective, from a training perspective, from a hiring perspective, because you have the skill set there. Okay? When you start to talk about investing in new equipment, I think it really starts with making sure you have documentation down for what you do currently, because if you start to add new equipment, sometimes people capacity is at a premium in smaller shops. You want to make sure that you document sort of the process of operating the old equipment. And we've talked about this. That can be important for a variety of reasons, some of which are even job listings, training, job descriptions, setting up success metrics for an employee.
Yeah, and from our experience, you're either going to do the work on the front end or you're going to do the work after the fact. The work still has to be done because you can't bring somebody in and let them run blind. Yeah, you can turn them on to Stahls TV to
Right.
learn how to do heat printing, but at the end of the day, you probably do things a specific way within your shop, and there are ways that you control the quality in the product that's going out, and you need to figure out standardized processes to implement those in your shop.
Yeah, and I've looked at the training programs for a variety of shops where they're actually leveraging videos from Stahls TV or another source as part of their training. So rather than having to teach it all hands-on, they'll embed a video as part of the training curriculum that teaches this particular thing. So yeah, I think that's important as well. And then there's the other piece of it that comes with sort of justifying the investment, especially if it's new equipment. You know, if you're going to make any big spends in your business, those have to be purchased from somewhere. Either you're going to depreciate the equipment over X amount of time and have a lease payment, and that's going to basically increase your overhead. And as long as you're including overhead as part of your cost, which it should be, you need to sort of balance that and make sure that's something you can afford on your profitability on each job.
So I actually wonder, on the flip side, we talked about investing in equipment, but how many of our viewers or our customers need to invest in salespeople in the sales process before equipment? How many of us have capacity that needs sold rather than needing to buy equipment to increase capacity that's oversold?
Yeah, I can't answer that question for you, but it's a valid sort of rhetorical question because I tend to look at scaling up as more equipment. You're already busting at the seams, but perhaps scaling up is I have all this capacity and now I need to fill up my shop, and how do I do that? So do you have any ideas, just to turn the question on you, for a decorator to do that, to grow more business in the door?
Well, we've set up a number of different classes that you can view on stahlstv.com, but getting somebody as a salesperson that would work on a commission-only basis to where you're only paying when they're actually booking something for you could help. There are professional salespeople who sell into the apparel industry out there, and they might represent multiple people from multiple parts of the country, depending on how they operate. So it'd be good to look for some of those. You can also post locally, just on job boards, and see if there's anybody out there looking for a sales position, maybe make 50% of their position sales and 50% producing. Basically what you do as a small business owner right now, you're doing everything, so you can kind of combine those positions to put yourself in a position to grow more.
Good, and I appreciate those tips. So those are some of the things with scaling up your business. If you're in that position, we'd encourage you to visit stahlstv.com. We definitely have some classes, as you mentioned, on structuring sales compensation. We have plenty of classes that teach new equipment and techniques that will help you, and plenty of training videos that can be used to start in the documentation process for training perhaps new hire. We do have some questions that are coming in from Facebook. So some very specific ones here from Brian. Are you bringing a print cut machine to Columbus for a trade show this weekend? I believe the answer is yes, but I cannot give you a guarantee live on air, so let me double check that, and we will respond to that on the Facebook page. And then Jessica asked, does the flexible application pad specific to our Make It Monday segment help to eliminate that Mylar mark that sometimes you get from the carrier? And so that's more of a yes and no. On some applications, Jessica, that can help to reduce that Mylar mark, but if you have something that is getting that indent from the carrier of the heat transfer film into the object, like a pad folio is a great example, sometimes what I try to do is actually just tack it down, especially when you're working with fashion film, for just a couple seconds, like we showed you on the background on that bag, get the carrier off immediately, and then cover it with the flexible application pad and run your full application without the carrier on there. So if you're getting that indent, you sort of got to do a little pre-flight testing before you start to decorate an item or a job.
I know one of the questions that happened here in the office this morning was, where did we get the bag from? I'm not sure if you addressed that in your segment.
I don't know if I did, but Wholesale Boutique is a great source that we've partnered up with here that are sending us all kinds of items to show you how to print them, but they sell wholesale. You have to place a $250 opening order, but they have a lot of cool, trendy bags, even apparel items, I think, sandals, and we'll have more videos on how to decorate items from Wholesale Boutique. If you don't want to place a $250 opening order, Closeout Boutique is sort of another site that they run where we don't have to set up an account. You can sort of get, retired looks that aren't necessarily this season's looks, but still nice stuff at wholesale pricing.
What's happening on next week's show? foil?
Next week's
Foil?
show.
More foil?
I have that right here.
Yeah?
Yep, foil, foil, and foil. So some of our most popular videos have been on foil and techniques, and Courtney and Jenna will be bringing you a complete episode about foil next week, showing you some different looks that have been collected around the office, and I'm sure that will be an exciting show. We'll continue our Make It Monday series and pick a look of the week, so make sure you submit it.
See you next week.
All right, thanks for watching Stahls TV.